Here's me before Brimfield. Tired as you can see, but woke up at 5 a.m. to edit a YouTube video, and then yeah, it's currently 6:30 and I'm getting ready to leave, but I'm excited to document the journey. Okay, it's been 7 hours. I have pizza, but I'm so tired, and I scored all of my stuff within the first 5 minutes. I got this earring cuff. I actually have a lightning bolt one that I got here from last September, but man, it's a process. I'm currently looking for prom stuff, which by the time this is out, prom's gonna be long over, and I'm targeting chokers. Found one that I liked. It's 50 bucks, and I was like, damn. So I'm looking for something a little more my price range, but I'm gonna try to get some videos of everything around here, but it's so hectic. Like, I like to call this the Disney World of vintage and antiques. So it's, oh my god, this is where all the bell-bottom guys live. Oh my god, there are more people my age than the last time I went here, which is, it's weird, but oh my god. Like, I walked through the fashion tent because my aunt is in the fashion tent most of the time, and I got so judged by them. They like were looking me up and down. Here's a little more of the fit. You guys saw some of it earlier, but I'm just like, I'm existing. It's 80 degrees out, sunny as hell, not a cloud in the sky, which is nice, but like you can see the sweat from all this, and I was not having it with them, but I was like, you know what? I don't care. But I officially found where they are made, which makes sense because there are a lot of overpriced vintage clothing. Like, overpriced. Which I understand, you need to make your money, but overpriced. Overpriced. I haven't seen that much weird stuff yet. I've only ventured to one and a half fields, but it happens. And I'm going to go into the, I still have to work on the field I'm in, but so yeah, I'm gonna work on this field. I'd like to target 2 more fields. We'll see. I'm gonna try to get some footage of a field and try to like show off the fields, but it's so hard, and there's so many people. There are like at least 10,000 people here right now. It's Disney World basically, but because last time there were so many like suits of armor, and then it was like all this stuff, and I haven't seen any weird stuff yet, which is strange, but yeah, so we'll see how it goes, and cheers to this poor piece of pizza. Today is the end of day 1. I will show the stuff when I actually get home. I am back in the car, and I'm gonna move the car for my grandfather. Oh my god, that was tiring, but I survived. I didn't find too much stuff. In the end, I got a poster, a magazine poster book, Rocky Horror, Elvis button, Boy George button, ear cuff, and prom earrings. I almost see another necklace, but no. And I did find a Elton record online for like $8 that I saw $20 here. So, and before I roast in the car like one of those dogs, I'm going to go. But I'll see y'all for day 2. Again, hopefully this is 3 days. I'm not sure. It's getting pretty tiring, but I'm gonna try to give more updates because this day had a late start since we started here at 11, even though I woke up at 5. But anyways, goodbye for now. Okay, it's not normally. It's morning 2. I feel like I've been smacked in the face with a broom. Cause see, this is like when it starts to hit you, because I maybe got 5 hours of sleep last night if I was lucky. But I already have trouble sleeping. So this is where it really starts to hit me. I mean, you can see that, like, my eyes are watering. My hair, I don't know what the fuck it's doing, but it's hairing. I was able to draw a little last night because my grandfather went to bed pretty early, but so we're gonna try day 2. And the only thing I'm really looking for is a choker. I don't know how much success I'm actually gonna have with that, but I guess worst comes to worst, I just like buy one not used or non-vintage. But I'm expecting there to be so many like the bell-bottom boys. Like I couldn't believe it when I went there last time. Like when I went here in September, there was no one my age. Like it was just me and my brother. Like we were the youngest. I think people like acknowledged that there was no one our age. And now there's so many more people my age, which I think is cool that people are getting into it. Just I talked to some of the dealers about it, and they said the only thing about there are more people my age is they don't know what they're doing. And I fully acknowledge I don't understand what I'm doing. And I was raised on vintage. Like this is nothing, like the show is a little new for me, but the act wasn't new for me. Cause like I've been going like to shows and like flea markets and estate sales and house calls and auctions ever since I was little. And I think it's cool for people to like start entering this market, but I also think it's been the same for the past like 20-ish years from when I've been a part of it, and now it's starting to drastically change. Like this antique fair, like it mostly they didn't have as much clothing, but since vintage clothing is getting a lot more popular and I guess you can say mainstream, like the event now has changed to like 1/3 vintage clothing. And even though normally there's like a vintage booth, which that's how it's been in the previous years, but now it's like everybody is selling vintage clothing. Like even people who don't specialize in vintage clothing, like they're putting out vintage clothing and they're like, oh, come see this, come do that. But which I think is very interesting to see like how it's changing. And I don't think it's either a good thing or a bad thing. I would say probably it's more on the good side, but I think we just need to see how my generation approaches it, because my grandfather's like, oh, antiques, they're not gonna come back with your generation. I'm like, yes they are. But I think the best way to approach this would be for my generation to be like, okay, here's this really cool thing that these people have been doing for decades that we're gonna approach, and we should approach it with a sign of respect. And I think it's also good to approach it being like, I don't know everything. Like, I wish I could know everything with like my years of knowledge, but I don't know everything. And I think it's really hard I think it's hard to know everything, because you can only like really specialize in a field. Like, let's see, I don't really, well, I guess I do kind of specialize in a field, but like my field is mainly like 70s, 80s, and 90s, sometimes early 2000s clothes. And then a lot of like, but I've learned the shortcuts to like look through the clothing and look at that kind of stuff instead of just like going the long way. And I mean, with my grandfather, he does that with shaker items, and he has an understanding of wide understanding of furniture. Like, we were literally driving down the road yesterday to leave, and he looks at some chairs on the side of the road and he's like, those are Victorian. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, how? He senses it and he knows it. But we don't have that yet. Like, if you're just starting out, you can't sense it yet. It took me a couple years to even be able to look at something and like be able to be like, okay, this is actually vintage, or this isn't vintage, or this is this material or that thing, or this is worth it. But so I'm interested to see what the rest of this day is and how the people my age approach it, because it's changing. And I also think that's because it's getting increasingly harder for like some of the dealers to do this, and they're getting older, which that happens with all this stuff. But I just think it's like the environment is very interesting to approach. But I mean, I should try to talk to people my age there, but like, I don't know, it kind of like the people that I've been around, like my age, they felt hostile towards me almost. I don't know if it's just me going crazy, but like, I've gotten looks up and down, like they've been weird. And like, I remember like some people were like giving me weird looks as I was like trying to get by them, and then like they saw me sitting in my aunt's booth because I was like, I'm tired, like what else am I gonna do? Sit on the ground? Like, I'm gonna sit on the shaded tent where my family is. And they just gave me a weird look, and I'm like, yeah, what are you gonna do about it? But I don't know. But I mean, I'm lucky because I guess I get treated a little differently because and I acknowledge that I get treated differently. I like to call myself a vintage nepotism baby, but because whenever I'm gonna go shopping for like vintage clothing and stuff in that booth, my aunt's like, oh, here's my niece, and I'm like, yes, here I am. And then we talk to her friends and it's all good. But I think that's what a lot of people my age aren't getting, because they're the first ones to be entering the field, so they still have to make the friends. And I mean, it can be very intimidating, but I've found a way to like, not really make friends, but I think that's the game of vintage and antiques is you have to be ready to make a lot of small talk. Like, I have stories about how I've talked to some very strange people to get some incredibly good deals, but that's one of the things that you have to be prepared to do. Okay, I'll stop rambling because this was supposed to be an update, but you know what? Y'all are getting my unfiltered morning thoughts. And this would be strange, like, after I've face revealed, but yeah, it's just me with bedhead. But I want to continue to do stuff like this because I think it's interesting to document stuff like this and just present a perspective on it. But now I'm gonna go eat breakfast. It's 6 a.m. Oh, it's 6:20. I've been talking for 10 minutes. Okay, goodbye. Okay, it's day 2 and I currently am dressed. Here's the fit. It's supposed to be 80 degrees. Damn, phone doesn't want to hold. So we're gonna see how that goes. I have a Ziggy across my chest. No, sorry, not Ziggy. I have Aladdin sing. A lot of people thought that this was Ziggy, but I'm like, you know what? I'm saving my battles for later today. Cause like, but I've so far gotten a lot of attention from wearing this shirt, which makes sense because it's like, David Bowie plastered across my chest. And they're like, oh, is it vintage? And I'm like, yes. Because drip is head to toe vintage, besides my shoes, which I'm not going to show you because they're Birkenstocks and I don't want to show my toes. I'm like, I got some waffles in me, so I'm like revived, but I'm getting ready to go. My grandfather is already out by the car, but now I get to go. So here goes day 2, finding a choker. So basically, after this little combo, I got ready for day 2. Mainly during this day, I just stayed in the fashion tent and helped there with my aunt. I even ended up drawing on a jacket and customizing it, which gathered a lot of attention from everybody else in the tent. Halfway through the day, we actually got a tip about some dude throwing vintage fashion out of a tractor trailer. And so my aunt sent me down with one of her friends, and we actually, since like someone had to man the booth, and here's a lovely photo of me in the back of a tractor trailer picking up vintage. But besides that, it was pretty uneventful. But as you can see in this stunning footage right here, I hit the field J&J early in the morning. It took some time for me to find my aunt in that field, and the people kind of scared me, but what happened. And besides that, it was like a pretty slow day, pretty easy after all the rush of yesterday. Playing a fun game called Find My Family. It's gonna take some time. Mostly through the day, hair is not getting any better, but progress, stories. Okay, so it is currently day 3. We're not going back into the show because, yeah, I am tired. My grandfather is tired, so instead I'm gonna try to see if we can hit some shops around here, because I know there are a lot of shops in this area, but my grandfather was actually gonna see about some shops in the next state over, because we're gonna be on our way home, but we want to just see if we can like incorporate more stops and like kind of get through like that initial search, because it was getting very tiring. I mean, yesterday I didn't like record as much because I ended up spending a lot of time in the fashion tent with my aunt at her booth, which was a lot of fun. I have some stories to tell about that later, but it includes me rifling through a tractor trailer of clothing. Fun though. but yesterday was more of a chill day. I did get a good amount of stuff, but I also like backed down and I was like, okay, take it easy, take it slow, see what happens. And so today is gonna be like that, except instead of sitting around, we'll just be driving a lot. And then tonight, I'm gonna give a full haul of what I got, a full update, and yeah. I don't know, I think it's been fun to film this experience because I'll be able to look back on this in the future and be like, oh my god, I was dead. Because here, look, I'm like, you can barely see it, but shit. But I forgot my allergy medicine, so I've been dying, like dying. But what happens happens, am I right? But yeah, here's to day 3, the last day. Woo! On day 3, we ended up hitting most of the places that my grandfather liked, since he didn't really have a chance to go to many of the fields during the full show. It was filled with a shit ton of driving, accompanied by a lot of commentary about other drivers on the road. I got to walk through some very strange stores, but they had a lot of character, and it was interesting to see the different kinds of shops. It was a complete cool down compared to how prior days were, and it was nice to just walk around, be in familiar places, and take it easy without all the crowds. Though I have to say in the end, oh my god, everything was so dusty. I mean, it's worth it in the end for vintage, but whew, my lungs did not like all the dust. Okay, we're currently halfway through the day, but there's been no luck. I did go to a Salvation Army, don't support them, just to see like what they had. They had 25-cent records, but nothing good. So I guess it's good that I'm not supporting Salvation Army, but oh yeah, I also had a couple children like look at me weirdly. I mean, I don't think this is that weird, but I'm in a, I guess you can say, more conservative area, but it's fine. I almost bought a Saturday Night Fever record, but it had a bunch of scratches in it. I found a Barry Manilow record that I wanted, more scratches, but it's bound to happen. So my grandfather's currently looking at another antique store, and I'm gonna go in there, but probably won't find anything, but here we go. Don't know why someone tried to walk in on me in the bathroom, but look at this wonderful thing. I love it when that happens. This day happened to be filled with some very nice scenic drives. I had to listen to Just Dance by David Bowie, of course. But besides me very fairly eating a sandwich in the car, it actually was filled with like a lot of really good shots and just, I mean, generally good composition, filmmaking stuff. So I'm happy to show y'all that. But I was really happy to get home. I actually saw and got to pet my grandfather's cat, Bootsy, who you'll be seeing soon. And the whole trip was just a lot of fun. And I think the last day, it was a perfect break. That's all I can describe it as. It was a perfect break, nice and slow, filled with lots of scenic drives and pretty views. And good sandwiches with David Bowie. It's a purring Bootsy. Aww. You're a sweet girl. Yes, you are. You're a very sweet girl. Okay, I am home. Here's the curtains and thing, but I'm back. I survived. Oh my god, I spent like 6-ish hours driving in a car because we took the long way home. So I was able to stop at more places. Not a lot of luck, but I am excited to show the stuff. I would like to say context for what I'm gonna be showing, because y'all are gonna see the kind of stuff I go after, but I kind of, it's obvious, but I have a big hyperfixation on music. And I like to balance between artists, but I keep like a general interest in it. And it's been like this since September. So yeah, because I normally like hyperfixate on different kinds of media. But now it's just been music. Yeah. So it wasn't, wait a moment. I will edit this out, but I have to go get another one of my finds. I'm back. But so I wasn't really aiming for clothing necessarily, because I myself have a lot of vintage clothing. I mean, like, I've been getting vintage clothing ever since I was little, so I already have a lot, and I like to look for special pieces rather than just be like, oh, I like this thing, because then I look at it and I'm like, I have the exact same thing at home, or I can just steal it from my grandfather's closet. Yeah, but so it's gonna be a lot of music stuff and that kind of thing. And it went more towards jewelry because I was looking for my prom accessories. Ooh, by the time this is out, I'll already be done with prom, but I had the thought process of, I got a vintage prom dress and I wanted to do vintage accessories with it because they match. My God, I'm like, I feel incredibly jet lagged and I haven't taken my allergy meds. Oh yeah, because I forgot my allergy medicine at home and then I got to my grandfather's house and I'm like, okay, so this is where my allergy medicine was. Okay, well, let's start off the haul with, here is the first item. I got one of the first ones. It is, I'm trying to figure out how to show this. It's a little earring cup. There we go. It's a star. But I have a lightning bolt one, a red lightning bolt, and everybody's like, oh my God, David Bowie earring cup. And I'm like, it's just a lightning bolt, but if you say so, I'm not gonna object. But yeah, so I saw that the dealer had a bunch of these. Still, they're all completely dead stock. That's why I was pulling out the little package of it, but oh my God, I just realized I don't have another thing. I'll be right back. A little bit of a mess today. Speaking of which, here's the next item. Bam. Sunglasses. Yeah, okay, so the story behind this was, I've wanted Elton John sunglasses for a while, and then I found some like kind of Elton John sunglasses, and I sent pictures to my friends Laddie and May, and they said I looked like a mom, which I'm again not mad at them, mad at the fact that the sunglasses made me look like a mom. And they were like, look here, Ren, we don't want you looking like a mom. And Laddie was trying to be like, do your own thing. And I'm like, please tell me if I look like a mom, because I don't want to buy mom sunglasses and be blasting like fucking Hooked on a Feeling, like driving 60 miles per hour and look like a mom. Like, I have to have at least some sort of sense of style instead of being like, oh yes, I am your mother. But instead, this is a vibe. So I had to turn down the MILF sunglasses, but I will find my Elton John sunglasses eventually. But I won't get his own special company because look at me, I'm a broke teenager. Well, At this point, I'm a broke art student. Do you think I have the money to drop $200 on a pair of sunglasses? Like, it's already, like, that's a full set of oil paints that's gonna last me the next 2 to 5 years. Like, Elton, I love you, baby girl, but that is not it. That's why I went with the $12 sunglasses. Yeah! But, and again, shout out to May and Laddie, but they said him looked like John Lennon, so I'm kind of liking that, even though my favorite Beatle is Paul McCartney. So I like to joke that with these sunglasses on, I look like the love child of Paul McCartney, John Lennon, David Bowie, and Eddie Munson. Because, okay, look at this hair. Like, yes, it's a little floofed up from me riding with all the windows down. I love to do that kind of summer thing. I am that person. But, see, literally, Eddie fucking Munson. Like, I just accepted it. And the funniest thing is the time that this video is going to be out, I'm going to already have cut all this shit off. It's going to be gone. So y'all are going to be like, oh, this is what Ren looks like. No, I'm going to look different. And my older self is going to be like, yo, I look different. And so this is going to be kind of a shock to edit. But besides the point, sunglasses. So I was riding around today with them and I was like, yeah, I feel cool. And I believe everybody needs to have a pair of sunglasses that makes them feel cool. And bam, especially with this main by me muscle top. You can tell with all the safety pins, but yeah, sunglasses. But and I wanted to also get them because I had my star sunglasses on a majority of the time, but they're not the best to keep the sun out of my eyes. So I wanted a more practical pair, but also stylish. Cause just see me. I'll be in a canoe and I'll be like, don't you dare fall and die. That is my responsibility. Not gonna let you die. Or I can be going to the drive-in, blasting whatever music I like, being like, yeah, I'm the driver. I can't take myself seriously in them though. That's half of the part, but sunglasses. Okay, here, this one has a story behind it, but you'll hear more about the story. I'm gonna do a whole run through of my time mostly there. So this is the last portion of the video, but I'm so excited about these babies. But I'm not gonna be able to show them fully, but got fucking Carhartts! I got Carhartts! They're my first pair of Carhartt pants. And oh my god, I'm so excited about them because I got them for free. My aunt ended up paying for them because, okay, so I was standing in the fashion tent with my aunt and her friend Bridget, and one of my aunt's friends walks in and he's like, oh, there's this guy throwing clothing out of a tractor trailer. Do you guys want to come and look? And I'm like, damn, now's the opportunity. And so like both of them started freaking out. They're like, oh my god. But they're like, oh, someone needs to man the booth. So my aunt stayed behind and she sent me as the one to go dig through the stuff for her. So she gave me some money. She's like, go and find some good stuff. I like these certain things. And I had to walk a mile to get down there. And it's like, it's the middle of the day. Like, it's super sunny. I had to walk a mile in 80-degree weather to get there. And so we finally get there and it's just piles of clothing and there are people digging through it and the guys like yelling out prices and like pricing things for people, and I had to dig through the clothing and there were a bunch of bell bottoms. None could fit me because they were like, the waist was literally that big. Like my forearm is bigger than that shit. Like they were tiny. And then I remember, I think someone was like, yeah, they're on a lot of cocaine back in the 70s. And I was like, okay, this is my life now. But I loved every moment of it. And so then I found these beauties in the pile with the tiny waisted flares. Oh my god. And so I found them, and then I'm like, these are gonna be my next painted pants. They're extremely ripped. I haven't washed them yet, but they fit perfectly, and they're like fully broken into. And I actually might Sharpie on them or do some type of design. Maybe just like generally get paint on them, because I like them, but I also want to add like my own personal flair and be like, these are my pants, I have claimed them. And then after this whole ordeal, I ended up carrying a giant ass bag of clothes, like probably about this big, like just carrying them full mile. Whew, it was tiring as hell, but it's what you do for vintage. It's what you do. So I was really excited to get those pants, because that was the only piece of like clothing that I found. But it's because I've been having a lot of holy grails this winter. Like I got a long black leather trench coat, and about a week or two ago, I actually got a leather jacket for like 15 bucks. Actually, a week to this day, like, it was really good. But anyways, okay, now on to the next thing. Okay, this, okay, this is gonna go on my walls, but it is a Deadstock poster magazine of Rocky Horror Picture Show. Bam. Here it is in its glory. It will be hung up soon. Here's it to me, but it will be hung up soon on my wall, because oh my god, I love Rocky Horror, and Dr. Frankenfurter is my favorite character. I mean, obviously, like, look at me. Look at me. Me and this man. Look at us. And so I'm incredibly excited to put this up on my wall. And I was like, I could always use more posters. And on the back, it has, here, this is what will go on the back, and this is the cover. And just like song lyrics and articles, but I was incredibly excited to find this. Rocky Horror Picture Show. One of my favorite movies of all times. And it's on brand. That's all I can say to that, but okay. Let's reach into the bag. Okay, this, I'm excited. I'll be able to show this stuff because prom will have already been over, and so I've been kind of like keeping this a secret, but this is my necklace for prom. Well, I guess it's more of a choker, but yeah. It's costume jewelry pearls, and I got it when it was raining. It was a weird moment, but I just saw it and I was like, oh, that is gonna be what I wear at prom. So yeah, there's not much to say about this. There's no big story behind it, except me just being like, I like that thing, and it is costume jewelry. Yeah. Speaking of costume jewelry, here is some more, ooh, earring backs are falling out of it. But here's some more Deadstock jewelry. This is also going to be with my prom dress. I don't know how I managed to pick all the jewelry in one little go, but yeah. They had a lot of Deadstock earrings, and I had a hard time picking, but they also had a lot of New Wave earrings, which, I love New Wave. It's just, New Wave, but, so I wanted to go with something like a little more formal, but I also am trying to go like with more bold stuff, so it's like obviously vintage. I don't want it to look completely real either, because like, I don't know, it's something about it. Oh, here's my own necklace that I took off. It's a little tarot card Wheel of Fortune necklace. Forgot that was in there. But oh yeah, here we're getting on to the buttons. There are a lot of them. Warning y'all ahead of time, but we got RuPaul. Look at her go. She's good old RuPaul. Not much else can be said. Oh yeah, this goes with the RuPaul button, but drag is not a crime. I know this is mirrored, but yeah, because it's going to go on my barn battle vest. And so I like to make a statement. And besides, I can be like, drag is not a crime. And then RuPaul! RuPaul! So, then we got this one. This one was fine. I actually got this one for $1. I think this was like the cheapest button, but it's an Elvis button. I know that he is problematic, but I love Elvis. I condone, is that? No, I don't know what condone means. I'm not gonna say that because I don't want to get myself in trouble, but I like Elvis. I like his voice. I hate his actions, but yeah. Elvis Presley. I don't know what that says, but yeah, Elvis. So these are all going on my battle vest. This one was the most expensive out of all of them, but I actually managed to haggle down the price because, as you can see, back it was $10, but I actually managed to get it down to $5 because the guy was like, oh, it's original and it's from the 80s. And I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. When I go to a vintage fashion show and I see a button that's from the 80s, I would never think that it was a vintage button. Oh my God. And so I'm currently blanking on the Kiss member. I'm sorry, guys, but I should know. I know it's the guitar player, obviously, but here's the button. It's a authentic from the 80s button. And he's like, it has the metal backing too. And I'm like, okay. And so that's why he was like, yeah, I'll give you 10 for the button. And the more you get, the better deal you get. And I like saw them and I'm like, the only band that I really like is Kiss out of these ones. And so I'm like, I'm good, thank you. And he's like, 5. He sounded desperate. I'm like, sure. So that's how I got a $5 vintage Kiss button. Reaching into the bag in the street. Ooh. See, vintage buttons don't have to cost a lot, but this one is a Boy George button. New wave. And I'm just so excited because I know I forgot the movie character's name, but in the original, I just forgot the name of the movie too. It's not going to come to me, but I will put it up here. But in this movie, the main character is very like new wave, and he has a bunch of buttons that he puts on his jackets, and one of them was Boy George, and I'm like, I want to become that character one day. And so when I saw this, I was like, I need it. And it also pairs perfectly with my color by numbers record that's upstairs. So yeah. I think, oh, we have one more. Oh, we typically have 2. I'll just make it easy. But this one is pretty self-explanatory. It says the gay cousin, because I am the gay cousin on both sides of the family, so I hold all the homosexuality and all the transness for both sides of the family. I pull all of it, but so I love to joke about how I am the gay cousin. I'm also the only artistic cousin, which, I mean, makes sense. Like, I'm a creative, but I got too much of this. Like, there is no balance. Like, my brother, tech bro. But not that kind of tech bro, but tech. He loves tech. My other cousins, pure jocks. And then I'm just standing here and I'm like, whoa. See? It even wants to get away from me. I'm just standing here and I'm like, look at me. I am a homosexual. I'm fine with it, but I am a homosexual. No, not even speaking of homosexuals. Then I got a little Paul McCartney button because Paul McCartney is my favorite Beatle. So I had to get a Paul McCartney button because I already have a Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club button, and so I was like, you gotta pair the two. And this is actually, speaking of the Beatles, this is my final find that I got today. Because of course I wouldn't be able to get this for this price at the show. But I got a Beatles album, and it's the Beatles from 1962 to 1966. I don't know why I wanted to say 1963. It smells like perfume, and I believe it's falling a little on the bottom, and it's an original one, and I'm extremely excited about this. Like, look at that. Look at that. And I've actually been looking for more Beatles records for a while now. I just haven't been able to get them because they're Beatles and they're extremely expensive. And so I was happy when I found that one for 15 bucks. I was like, I will take it, honestly. And I don't have it here in person now, but I got a Elton John record online. I actually got, I believe, Elton John self-titled record, which I saw one in person for 20 bucks. I almost bought it, but then I looked on eBay and I found it for $7, so I was like, just go with the $7 one. But it's actually, I think, probably my second favorite Elton John album, because Honky Chateau holds a place in my heart, but I also really like Elton John. Self-titled. I'm getting there slowly, but as you can tell, I have a deep obsession with music, but you're here to listen to me ramble, so might as well have fun rambling. But yeah, that's the haul. Woo! Hi, it's me again. This is Future Run, as you can see right now. You know, in that sketchbook video when I was talking about having an infection, this is technically the past, but the side of the face is swollen, so you're gonna have to deal with this because this is what you get for having consistent content. But anyways, those were all my thoughts on Brimfield. I actually had an incredibly fun time. I knew I was gonna have a fun time, but yeah. And again, thank you for supporting my channel, and I hope you like the content, see more of my lovely face. And I know this is like the first current face reveal, but it's warped by the fact that half my face is swollen. So normally you can just copy and paste the other half of my face to this. But anyways, again, thank you for watching the video. Thank you for supporting me while I'm off doing camp endeavors, getting that bank. Here before, again, a little fit check, my David Bowie Labyrinth shirt. I know, I'm sorry I have to show it off, but make sure to like and subscribe. I actually like doing this style of video, so I think I'm gonna try at it more in the future. Again, like the vibes of it, like the documenting the journey, and it was really fun to watch and edit and put all of it together. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Anyways, make sure to like and subscribe. That isn't a threat, it's just an invitation to join me screaming in the void, because as you can tell, I do actually scream in the void. Anyways, thank you for watching the video, and I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.